to the Stone Dogs 40k for some more board game content, and this time we're reviewing Space Marine Adventures, which is a game of heroic action in the far future. So this is a game for 1 to 4 players, co-op 1 to 4 it says down here, game average 30 to 45 minutes, age is 8 plus. It's quite a hefty game. It's probably 1.5 kilos, perhaps 2 kilos in weight. It gives you a bit of an indication on what's in the box on the back here. So we've got game pieces, cards, counters, game boards, etc. Obviously push fit miniatures in there as well, unpainted. Gives you a list there. It says we've got 5 Space Marines, 16-page rulebook, counters, 5 decks of cards, 3 double-sided game boards, and 5 6-sided dice. Interesting. So this game is a Games Workshop game, as you can see down here. Does it say when this was released? 2018, I believe this was released, so it's 5 years old. Let's get it open and have a look. What have we got inside? Welcome to a world of fantasy games. So Games Workshop doing what they do best and ramming everything that they do down our throats. Yeah, these books and leaflets, etc. have been a staple of the Games Workshop and Citadel stable for a long time, haven't they? But there you go. Little promo for White Dwarf on the back of there. Okay, so we've got the rule book, 16-page rule book. Cover art, pretty good. And gives you a good indication that it's set up very similar to the 40k, standard 40k game in the way that it's laid out and the artwork and the typeface. So it's obviously designed to link in to that game from the perspective of familiarization, I guess, so that it's not too far removed from the 40k universe. And then we've got some tokens. Okay, now this game is based on squad combat, and I believe it's versus the Necrons. So there's one board piece, and there's another board piece, reversible, and the third board piece, reversible. And then, okay, so we've got push fit miniatures. Colour differentiation, I'm assuming, to indicate different members of the squad. So I would imagine this is a sergeant with a chainsword. The yellow one we've just seen, I would say probably just a normal squad member, or is that a heavy bolter? It could be a flamer. This one is definitely a flamer. And then the red one, just a standard bolt gun there by the looks of it. And finally the grey one, which looks like he's just armed with a combat knife. And is that a pistol on the... oh no, there is a bolt gun on the backpack there as well. Okay, so that looks like a standard squad then. You've got 1, 2, 3 bolt guns, 1 flamer, 1 heavy bolt gun, and a sergeant by the looks of it. Got a black bag here, which I think is just a dice bag by the looks of it. Yep, that's just a dice bag. 1 dice for each colour. Plastic wallets, not sure what they're for. And then we've got 3 lots of cards. Open now. And then these ones say do not open, so I suppose they're just there for aesthetics, are they? Level 1, 2 and 3, and then advanced. So we're going to have to check out the rules just to see what those cards actually mean. Now, the plastic on these isn't your standard Space Marine or Games Workshop sprue plastic. It feels quite, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say cheap, but it's not very heavy, if you know what I mean. The standard stuff you get for 40k miniatures is quite kind of dense, if that makes sense. This is the sort of plastic that you'd get on a toy in a Christmas cracker. So yeah, going to be interesting to see how these go together. These I will paint, obviously, because you know, I can't stand playing with unpainted miniatures. And although I didn't say anything, if you watched my review of Alien Fate of the Nostromo a week or so ago, yeah, I was clenching my teeth all the way through because those miniatures were unpainted. So what I probably will do when I test this one is I'll substitute a squad of my own Primaris or Firstborn miniatures instead. Okay, be back in a second. Just going to get the rulebook out. So here's the rulebook. Got a little bit of a paragraph down the bottom here, which I'm sorry about the glare. The Necron Overlord has arisen, and he seeks to take over the galaxy. Standing between this mechanical maniac and his ultimate prize are 5 Space Marine heroes, mighty battle brothers who have sworn to halt his evil plans. Now they must fight their way through the Overlord's labyrinth in order to defeat him once and for all. So this is versus the Necrons. There were no Necrons in the box, which is interesting. So I'm not quite sure how this is going to play out. So, objective of the game. 3 levels to complete that you can choose from, each offering a different challenge. Level 1 is easiest, level 3 is the hardest. In order to win the game, you must successfully fulfill a mission objective for each level of the labyrinth component. So we've got Space Marines. So what have we got? Game dice, which match the Space Marines. Reinforcement bag. Necron minion counters are placed in the reinforcements bag and randomly drawn from the bag throughout the game. Right, so that's what that black bag was for. Okay. Labyrinth boards, 3 double-sided boards. We've got those already. We've seen those. Each is a maze of corridors that the Space Marines will need to navigate through. So, just have a bit of a closer look. So there you go. So you can see there's a corridor system printed on both sides of these, and I guess they just go together in different ways for each mission, kind of like the Aliens Another Glorious Day in the core boards and various games along those lines. Okay, labyrinth stairwell tiles. Okay, so those are on the punched cards just here. 2 stairwell cards. Counters, so we've got portal counters. 3 counters are double-sided, 2 show a closed and on both sides, and 1 shows a closed portal on one side and an open portal on the other. Okay. Objective counter. This counter is double-sided and shows a control console on one side and the Necron Overlord on the reverse. Okay, that's the square one. Overlord damage counters. These 3 counters are used to keep track of damage to the Necron Overlord. Necron minion counters. These are the minions of the Necron Overlord. 12 rank and file warriors, 5 powerful immortals and 5 elite Lich Guard. So I would imagine that the reason why there aren't plastic Necron warriors in this box, Necron miniatures, is purely for cost, because this retails at about 40 to 45 UK pounds, I believe. Imagine if you've got an extra squad of Necron warriors, 5 immortals and 5 Lich Guard in there. That's going to add probably 40 or 50 pounds to the price of the game. So, and it'll make the box a lot bigger as well. So I guess that's why they've elected to do card counters to keep the cost down, which is a shame, but also makes it more affordable. So it kind of makes sense. Cards. The cards included in the game are split into 5 separate decks. The deck labelled open now can be opened right away, but the others should not be opened until you have read the rules and are instructed to do so. There are 6 types of cards. Space Marine data cards. There is one double-sided data card for each Space Marine. The reverse side of each card is the wounded side of the card. Each side of the card shows the following information: A, B, A, D, 4, blah, 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 blah. A is the Space Marine's name and chapter symbol. Okay. B is how many actions that Space Marine can perform. C, which is here. C is how many actions, B is a photograph of the Space Marine. I should have said that. C is how many actions it can perform. D is the range of its weapon. And E is the war gear ability. Now, war gear, obviously in 40k, the options are almost unlimited. Here, we've got, I imagine, they can only take what war gear they've got on their model, but also the range. Where did it say range? D, the range of the Space Marine's weapon. If you look there, 4. Is that 4 squares? I would imagine it is. If so, for example, if that is a bolt pistol, I think in normal 40k the bolt pistol range is 12 inches, so it's obviously vastly reduced range, I would imagine, again because of the smaller board size. Mission briefing cards. Oh, sorry, let's go up to the top. We missed a bit. Necron data cards. There is one data card for the Necron Overlord and one for each of the 3 types of Necron minion. Each card shows the resilience value of that Necron. Okay, so they've just literally got a number on. Activation cards. There are 2 activation cards for each Space Marine and 6 for the Necron Overlord and his minions. Space Marine activation cards show the corresponding Space Marine's chapter symbol. The Necron cards are all the same. Okay. Mission briefing cards. These 3 cards tell you what you will need to do to complete each level of the labyrinth. Special cards. 28 special cards that you can use during the game. These represent additional war gear or special abilities for the Space Marines. Labyrinth cards. 3 decks, 1 for each level of the game. The level 1 deck has 24, level 2 has 29, level 3 has 30. That's an odd number, isn't it? 29. These are revealed during the game each time a Necron activation card is turned over. Okay, so this bit is about setting up the game. So let's do that. Okay, so surprisingly, that took a long time to set the game up, and it's only a tiny little tile at the moment. So, just talk you through what happens. So, first thing you do is you choose one of the 3 labyrinth tiles. I chose this one, and you put it in the middle of the table. You then have to choose one of the 4 entry-exit points. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have to place your stairway coming off of one of those points. You can choose any one, it doesn't really matter. You then have to place the 3 portal tokens at the other 3 points. So I've got one here, and one here. One of these is the exit portal. I don't know which one it is. And then finally the objective counter, which is this one here. This is the console counter, and on the reverse it has the Necron Overlord. So that one goes on the space that's marked with the Necron symbol just there, which is in a different place on every board. Okay. Then the team, that's me, has to choose which Space Marines they're going to take. So for this mission you can only take 4. The 5th Space Marine isn't used in this particular level. So what I've decided to do is replace the plastic coloured Marines with my own Firstborn Marines. So we have got Brother Infernus, who carries a flamer. That's this guy here. And then we've got Brother Gabriel, who carries a Auspex, represented by this magazine clip in his hand. Brother Frostclaw, this guy here who has a combat knife, you can just see there. And then this last guy, which is Brother Grimm, who has a heavy bolter. There you go. Okay. So once you've done that, they then have to be placed on the table, on the 4 squares of the stairwell. So I've put them here in the order that they're going to go on the stairwell. So this guy first, and then this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy, and then populate the labyrinth, which I've already done. This mission only uses the Necron Warrior and the Immortal tokens, doesn't use the Lich Guard ones, so I've taken those away. But they basically come out of this bag, so they're put in the bag, mixed up, and then you draw them out at random, and they go on the numbered squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then once that's done, the Labyrinth deck, which is this deck here. So this deck is the Necron instruction cards. Tells you what they do when they activate. You've got the activation deck, which is this one. This is a random mix of 2 of each of the cards for the Space Marines and then 4 for the Necrons. Once those are exhausted, that's the end of one round. Got the reference cards for the 2 Necron units here and the mission briefing card, which is here. This is the only thing I've found so far that I've got an issue with, really, and that is that the size of the writing on this card is ridiculously small. Now I know it's been made to fit into that deck, but it would have been better off going in that size deck because the text on this is minuscule. So the Space Marines must activate the control console on the objective square to open the portal and escape. The Space Marine can attempt to activate the console if he is standing on the objective square. So basically, one of these guys has got to get to that square. Each time he does so, it uses one of his actions. So roll a dice, and on a 6 or more, the Space Marine has successfully activated the controls. On any other result, the attempt fails and nothing happens. Once the control console has been successfully activated, flip all the portal counters over. One of them will show an open symbol and is now treated as an empty square. The other 2 remain in place. Place the spare stairwell tile adjacent to the newly opened portal so that it extends from that square, and I guess that's what will lead into level 2. The game ends if all of the Space Marines have been taken out of action, all of the Space Marines on the board are on the new stairwell tile, or the Labyrinth deck runs out. So if that deck runs out, then the game ends. If at the end of the game all 4 Space Marines are on the new stairway tile, the team wins a major victory, and then 3 is a minor victory, and then 2 is a draw, and then any other result is a loss. So standard procedure really for Games Workshop games, isn't it? Okay, so that's the mission. The last thing is that the special cards needed to be divvied up. That was the cards that had different abilities on for the Space Marines. There's about 30 of those, I believe, and what you have to do is choose 2 for each Space Marine that's in the mission, and then decide which ones you're going to keep. So you only get to keep 1 per Space Marine. So they have 2, and then you choose which is the best one. So what I've done for Brother Infernus is I've gone for Anvil of Strength, and this one is basically can play this card any time during his turn, and he immediately performs a free action against Necron that is in an adjacent square to him, adding 3 to each dice roll. Free attack action, that is. And then for Brother Gabriel, we've got Honour the Chapter. So use this at any time during the Space Marine turn. Until the end of the turn, roll a dice each time the Space Marine performs a successful attack action, excluding using frag or crack grenades. On a 4 or more, that Space Marine can immediately perform a free action. And then Brother Frostclaw, given him the frag grenade. Use it any time. Pick a Necron within 4 squares and in a straight line. Roll a dice as if you're attacking, and then roll a dice for each Necron that is in a square adjacent to that Necron, as if you're also attacking them. No bonuses or rerolls can be applied. For each successful attack, that Necron is destroyed. So that seems quite powerful. He could do some damage with that. And then Brother Grimm, Blessing of the Omnissiah. Use this at any time during the Space Marine turn until the end of the turn. If the Space Marine attempts to activate the control console on level 1 or 2, they will be successful on a 5 or a 6 instead of just a 6. So actually, Brother Grimm is probably the guy I want to get to that console in order to activate it, because he's got a better chance. So that's the game prepared and ready to go. So basically, we need to begin. So the way this works is you shuffle the activation deck and put it face down next to the board. To begin a round, basically turn over the top card of the activation deck. So if it shows a Space Marine symbol, then that Space Marine can activate and do their actions. If it shows a Necron symbol, then we have to draw a card from the deck. So here we go. Okay, so it's a Necron card, so we need to draw a card from the deck. This card is Necron Reinforcements. Oh, strange green lightning crackles and leaps, opening a portal from another part of the labyrinth. And Necron steps through the energy portal, looks around with a shimmer of its glowing eyes, raises its weapon, and begins to stalk towards the Space Marines. Place a Necron minion counter on translocation square 5. So what we need to do is draw a counter from the bag. We will get a Necron Warrior. Translocation square number 5 is there. You can't put one on top. What you have to do is you have to put it on the square next to. So it's going to go there. That card is now complete, and it will go face up just over there. Okay, next card. Another Necron card. Necron Reinforcements, another one on square number 4. It's getting busy very quickly, and it's another Necron Warrior, and it's going to go there. Okay, so this is Brother Infernus, who, as luck would have it, is right at the front of the queue. That's him there with the flamer right at the front. So he has 3 actions. There is a Necron Warrior right in front of him. Now, the Necron Warriors have a resilience of 3. Basically, you have to roll higher than that number. Is it equal to? If the result of the die roll equals or beats, right, so you need to roll a 3 or more to kill the Necron Warrior. So, 1 action. Fails. Going to shoot again. 2 actions. Success. Kills that warrior. That token goes back in the bag. And for his 3rd and final action, he is going to move forwards 1 square. Okay. Next activation is Necrons. Reinforcements, square number 2. So guess what? Square number 2 is the one we've just emptied. And it's another Necron Warrior. Now when that happens, let me just check. Yeah, so apparently nothing happens. So when you respawn a Necron into a square and there's a Space Marine adjacent, that basically is it. That's just the end of the Necron turn. So there we go. So we now need to activate again. And it's another Necron activation. Necron Reinforcements. Translocation square number 1, which is this one right here. Necron's filling up quite rapidly. Another Necron warrior. Activate. Aha! So this is Brother Frostclaw, who's armed with the combat knife and has a frag grenade. So that's this guy here. Now he's got actions of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He could move up to here to get out of the corridor. Or he could go 1, 2, and then shoot twice, which he's going to do. So he needs to roll a 3, which he does. And that kills that Necron. And then his last action, there's not really anything he can do. He can't land on the same square as Brother Infernus, so he's just going to have to stay put. Okay, that's the end of his activation. Next one. Oh, he's up again. Haha, excellent. Right, so 4. What's he going to do? He's going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then he's going to shoot at this guy. So he needs to roll a 4 or more, which he does not. Okay, so just to explain the combat knife situation. So Frostclaw can perform 1 free action in each of his turns, but only against a Necron that is in a square adjacent to him. So basically, if he's in a square next to a Necron, he can actually do 5 actions. One of those has to be an attack against that Necron. Okay, so yeah, it just gives him a free action, but it's got to be an attack action in a square next to a Necron. Okay. Next is, this is Brother Grimm. Brother Grimm is the guy with the heavy bolter right at the back. He's got 3 actions. All he can do is move 1, 2 to there. That's all he can do. Yeah, okay. Next activation is Brother Gabriel, who has 4 actions. So he is going to... I moved the wrong Marine, didn't I? That's Brother Frostclaw. That's Brother Gabriel. Right, so Brother Gabriel has 4 actions, and he is going to go 1, 2, 3, and then he is going to shoot. No, he's not. What he can do is he can throw his crack grenade. No, he can't, because it's not him that's got the crack grenade. He can shoot. He's just going to shoot at the Immortal just down here. And that is on a 4, which he does. So he's just killed that guy there. Okay. Activation time. Right, this is Brother Infernus again. So Infernus has 3 actions. He's going to go 1, 2, and then he's going to shoot at the Immortal just down here. So again, needs to roll a 4, rolls a 3. So basically when you fail to hit something, that's it. That's just the end of your turn. Nothing happens. Okay. This is Brother Grimm again with the heavy bolter, and again he can't do anything apart from move up 1, 2, because he can't get into the corridor. And this is the end of this turn, and this is Brother Gabriel. So Brother Gabriel, who is this guy just here, he is going to shoot there, and then shoot there, and then probably move. I think we'll see. Let's shoot first. So he's going to shoot at the Necron warrior. Needs to roll a 3 or more. Yep. So that's that guy killed. And then he needs to roll a 4 or more for this guy down here, which he does. So that guy's gone. And then he's got 2 actions left, so he's going to move. So that is the end of 1 round. All of the activation cards have been exhausted. So what I do now is I reshuffle those and put them back there, and we start another round. Okay, round 2. Brother Frostclaw, who is just here. So 4 actions. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, and then shoot. Needs to roll a 3 or more, and he does. So that's another one down. Rather grim, heavy bolter. 3 actions. 1, 2, 3. Brother Infernus with Flamer. Okay, so shoot. Let's just roll a 4. And then shoot again. Needs to roll a 3. Oh, hold on. No, he can't do that because his range is off. So what he's going to have to do is he's going to have to move for his second action and then shoot. And success. Oh, and it's Infernus again. So 1, 2, and then shoot 3. Dead. Okay. Oh, I've just noticed something. That is not part of the corridor, so he can't shoot through a wall. So actually all he can do is move to there. Okay, yeah, I need to watch out for that because that black bit there, and that black bit just there is actually a wall, not a corridor. Okay. All right, next. Necrons. Necron reinforcements. Place a Necron minion at number 1. Okay, Brother Gabriel, who is just here. He is on 4 actions, so 1, 2, and what we're going to do is we're going to play Honour the Chapter with this one. So Honour the Chapter is use this at any time until the end of the turn. Roll a dice each time the Space Marine performs a successful attack action. On a 4 or more, that Space Marine can immediately perform a free action. Right, okay, so basically he's moved 2. He's going to roll to kill that Necron, which he does, which is a successful attack action. And I need to roll again. I don't get a 4+, so he can't do a free action. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's right. Was he there or was he there? I think he was there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now these cards are right. Okay, so each Special Marine starts a level with a special card which will say when it can be used. It does not cost any actions to use a special card. When the card's effects have been resolved, it is discarded and placed back in the box. It cannot be used again during this adventure. So does that mean that if I failed to use that, then it would stay there? I think once you've used it, you have to discard it. I can't see that you would be able to keep it until it's successful. It's just a case of using it. If it fails, it fails. So let's put it back into the deck and we'll see what difference it makes for the rest of the game. Okay, Brother Gabriel again. So he's going to move and then shoot at the Necron. Kills the Necron. And then what he's going to do, he's got 2 actions left. He's going to back up 1, 2, because I need to get Brother Grimm through there to get to the console. Necrons. Necron minion counter on translocation square number 1. So again, can't put one on top, so we'll have to go there. Sorry about that. I just wanted to check to see if the Necrons actually move at all, but it appears that they don't. Basically, the premise is that if a Necron lands on this Marine here, it will wound him. So that means that his card would flip over. So on the reverse of the card, you've got the wounded side. So actually, I just noticed that this guy, his card's the wrong way up because he's not actually wounded. Okay, so if you get wounded twice, then you're out of the game, basically. So, activation. Necrons again. Number 3. And there you go, exactly what's happened. Okay, so Brother Gabriel is on number 3. That's got to go on number 3. So he is now wounded. So I need to flip his card over to show that he's wounded. And if he gets wounded again, then he is out of the game. Now, what happens to this token? Does it get placed underneath him? If the square is already occupied by Necron, no. If the square is occupied by a Space Marine, no minion counter is placed. Instead, the minion attacks the Marine and wounds him. Okay, that's fine. So that counter can go back in the bag. Okay, Brother Grimm. So Brother Grimm needs to get to the. Oh, what have I done? Oh, it's okay. Brother Grimm needs to get to the console, which is there. So he's got 3 actions. 1, 2, 3. Place a Necron minion counter on square 3. Oh no. That means that Brother Gabriel, who is already wounded, is now killed. Okay, 1 down. When I say killed, I mean out of action. Because you'll need him in the next level, obviously, right? Brother Frostclaw, he is here. He's got 4, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the end of round 2. Okay, round 3. Brother Infernus. He is going to shoot, so 4. And then he is going to move 1, 2. Brother Frostclaw. 1, 2, 3. He actually has 4, so I'll move him to there. Necrons. Translocation square number 5. Brother Infernus again. Don't really need to move him anywhere. I can only really move him to here or to there. He can't land there, he can't land there. I don't really want to move him all the way over here. There's no real point to that, so he's just going to not move. Okay, Frostclaw again. He's going to move to here. Now there is a rule here that says you can shoot diagonally, so I don't know that it means you can shoot across the corner though. Let me just check. Right, cannot pass through a wall or a closed portal. I would argue that that's not a wall, that's a corner. So I'm going to play it that he can shoot. So he needs to roll a 3, and he does. Okay, Brother Grimm. Simply got to move him to get to that console. 2, 3. Don't really want him to land on that square, because if that has a... Well, he can't anyway because he only gets 3. But yeah, obviously want to avoid landing on these squares as a marine, because there's a risk that you're going to get wounded. Okay, next one, Necrons. Of course it is. Number 2. Okay. So the board's going to fill back up again now by the looks of it. Another one on number 2. Okay, Brother Grimm again. Right, so he can basically go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so he can only use his actions to get there. He's got to wait until his next turn to be able to activate the control panel. Necrons. Number 5. Okay, that's the end of the next round. Just reshuffle the deck. Be right back. Brother Infernus. So he's got a range of 3, so he's going to go 1, 2, and then shoot. Just roll a 4. Does not. This is Brother Frostclaw. Now Frostclaw's got a grenade, and he's not in a position to throw it at the moment because he's blocked from these 2. So He needs to move. Right, so they've got to be in a straight line from him, so he can't even go to there and then throw it, because there's got to be a Necron in that square. So what he's going to do is he's just going to move to there, just to open up this corridor. And that will have to do, unless I move him 1, 2, 3, so he's diagonal, and then shoot. Needs a 3. Oh, okay, so he takes out that one. And he's up again. So I'm going to move him to 1, 2, 3, and then throw his frag grenade. So pick a Necron within 4 squares of this Space Marine and in a straight line. Roll a dice as if you were attacking the Necron, then roll a dice for each Necron that is in a square adjacent to that Necron, as if you were attacking them also. Okay, so we need to roll a 3 for this one and then a 4 for this one. That's 1. Okay, so we get the first one but not the second one. And that card now needs to be discarded. Brother Grimm. Okay, so Brother Grimm is going to play his Blessings of the Omnissiah card. So it says until the end of this turn, if this Space Marine attempts to activate the current control console on level 1 or 2, they will be successful on a dice roll of 5 or 6. He gets 3 actions. I'm assuming he can do that 3 times. Or is it 1 use only? What did it say over there? Each Space Marine starts a level with card. The card's effects have been resolved. It is discarded and placed back in the box. So it says it does not cost any actions to use a special card. So I can just play that for the round, which basically means I can roll 3 times. 1, 2. Okay, so we've activated the panel. So, at the end of the game, once the control panel has been successfully activated, flip over all the counters. So that's a portal. Aha, there it is. So basically that is our exit point. So what I'm going to do is just create a bit of space. And then that bad boy can just go on there. So that marks the exit. So we basically need to get out. He's got 1 action left, so he's going to move to there. However, I think, does that reveal the Necron Overlord? Let me just check. Right, so it doesn't say anything about the Necron Overlord in the mission briefing, and I've just had a look at the mission for level 3, and at the end it says, for victory, if you defeat the Necron Overlord, you win an epic victory. So just activating that panel doesn't reveal the Necron Overlord, which is lucky. I don't really want to fight him so early on. Okay, so next, Necrons. Oh, this is different. Invasion beam. The ground shudders, green lights pulse along the walls as energy builds and the invasion beam is activated. Blinding lights flash and flare and thunder booms along echoing corridors. In an eerie storm of light and sound, multiple Necrons teleport into the action. Place 1 Necron minion counter on translocation square 3 and then place 1 on translocation square 4. Okay. 1 on 3. 1 on 4. Brother Grim. 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's make it 2. Sorry, we're going to move him back 1 space and then shoot. So he needs to roll a 3. Yep. Blasts that guy. Okay, Brother Infernus, who is here, he's going to shoot. Needs a 3. Gets a 3. And then he's going to 1, 2, move to there. Oh, another one, look. Square 1 and square 2. Square 1, square 2. These Necron cards all seem to come out at once, even though I'm shuffling the pack. Right, what's this one? Oh. The next Space Marine who has a turn misses their turn, whether in this round or the next. Place this card face up next to the board until the end of the next round as a reminder. Resilience of all immortals is increased to 5 until the end of the next round. All right, let's put that on there. Okay, that's the end of that round. Okay, here we go again. Number 6. Just want to check what happens when a Necron lands in a square adjacent to... Right, nothing. Doesn't say anything. So basically that doesn't have an impact on this Marine. Number 6. Okay, Frostclaw. Where's Frostclaw? Oh, he's all the way down here. Right, so he needs to... He's going to move this way. He's going to go 1, 2, and then shoot. But he needs to roll a 5, remember? Which he does. One, 2, 3, and then 4. He's got 4 actions. Do I move him onto that tile? No, I'm going to leave him there. No, I'm not. I'm going to move him. Okay, Heavy Bolter Dude is all the way over there. So 1, 2, 3, because we just want to get the hell out of dodge. Frostclaw again. He has 4 actions, so he can go 1, 2, 3, 4. Infernus, 3 actions, 1, 2, 3. So we're aiming to get all of these guys onto the stairwell before we have any more issues with Necrons, which we're just about to have by the looks of it. Number 4. Oh, that's lucky. Oh, anything but number 3. Number 4 again. Okay, that's Infernus. So Infernus is just going to move further down. Give these guys some space. Oh, hold on a minute. We had a missed turn, didn't we? Forgot all about that. So I think we should have made that Brother Grim. So I've just moved Grim back to there. So that's that missed turn card used. And it's Grim. 1, 2, 3. End of the turn. That is Infernus. He's already off the board. Number 3. Oh, it was bound to happen. That is Grim. So Grim, basically, who's on number 3, is now wounded. Oh no! Resilience of all Necron warriors goes up to 4, and it also says, yeah, just keep it there, that's fine. Frostclaw, 1, 2, 3. He's already out. Necrons. 1 on 5 and 1 on 6. One on 6. So we've gone as far as we can in the rearwards direction, so we're going to have to start coming forwards with these now. And that's Grim. So Grim moves off. And that is the end of the mission. So the mission rules, if at the end of the game all 4 are on the stairway tile, then it's a major victory, but 3 have got through, so it's a minor victory. So yeah, it is a victory, but a minor one. Wow. Okay. Let me just take my breath, and then I'll do a quick summary. So, got to the end of level 1 of Space Marine Adventures. Just been having a bit of a think, really, about what I think about this game. Level 2 follows on from level 1, so basically the Space Marines will continue into the next level. You transfer the portal cards across, you remove everything from this counter, this board, you move the control console card across, and then basically it all begins again in level 2. However, in level 2 you have the third of the Necron minions which appears, which is the Lich Guard. So these are then included in the bag, with a roll of 5 or 6 to destroy them, so that makes it a little bit harder. Also, the Space Marine players get to draw another special card, even if they've already got one in place, so they can actually expand their hand to make them more versatile. So these cards, they can end up with two, which they can use, and obviously then in level 3 they get to do that again. So if they haven't used their cards in levels 1 and 2, they could end up with 3 cards going into level 3. Any Space Marines that are out of action in either this board or this board can be replaced by the one that was in reserve. The one that was in reserve was Sergeant Cassius, I think it was. Yeah, this guy. So he can be brought in as reinforcements. He's got a chainsword. He's got 4 actions and range of 4. So there's opportunities to continue through to the end, and then in level 3, that's when you get to face the Necron Overlord, who is this guy. So I haven't read it in any detail because I haven't opened the card back, but my assumption is you get into level 3, and then when you play this card and you activate the terminal, that actually exposes the Overlord, who obviously is harder to hit, harder to defeat. He has a number of wounds that you have to take off him. So I think he's got, what's he got? Yeah, he's got 4 wound tokens. I think those are his, are they? No, those aren't his, are they? What's these over here? There's 3 tokens over here as well, these things. So let's have a look and see what they are, because that's interesting to. Oh no, sorry, yeah, those are the Lich Guard tokens, aren't they, that go in the bag, and then these are the wound tokens for the Overlord. So the Overlord has 3 wounds that you have to take off, and then at that point I guess it's game over, mission 1. So yeah, I mean, it's got some good points. The good points are it's very easy to pick up, very easy to learn. The rules aren't complicated at all. But that in itself, I think, is perhaps slightly a negative. It feels very samey. I'm obviously playing on my own. I'm not playing with a group of people, so I'm sure if there were other people involved, the game would be a different experience. But bearing in mind it says it's for 1 player up to 4 players, I'd expect a single player to get a little bit more out of it. However, again, you know, its age rating is for 8+, so the younger generations might find it much more entertaining. Would I play it again? I think I would. I think I'd want to play it from start to finish and play right the way through all 3 levels, and use you know, all of the sort of the tactics that are available to the Space Marines. Get the models properly built and painted as well, so that they're easily identifiable in terms of their kind of color schemes, etc. Yeah, so the only other thing I would say is that I did mention earlier on that there aren't any Necron models to represent the spawns, because the tokens are in the bag, and you draw the tokens from the bag to represent not knowing what's coming. But I do feel like, you know, there's an option there to use a set of actual plastic miniatures and a dice to roll up what comes on at what time. Now, there's 2 things to bear in mind with that. Number 1 is that obviously Warhammer models are now on 32mm bases, and these are quite obviously 25mm. Although that's a 32mm base, so in terms of the Immortals and the Necron Warriors, they do obviously come now on 32mm bases. So you could use 25mm, you could use 32mm. However, the Lich Guard and the Overlord, they both come on the larger bases, I believe. So I think it's 40mm. So they wouldn't fit on this game board. So if you were going to use an actual plastic miniature for either the Lich Guard or the Overlord, you'd need to rebase it onto 32. Just so that it kind of fits the aesthetic of the table. Otherwise, it would look a little bit oversized. But yeah, I mean, you could use a D6, for example, on this board number 1. For the Necron Warriors, you could roll a D6 and say on a 1 to 4, you draw or you place a Necron Warrior, and on a 5 and 6 you place a Immortal. And then on this board, when the Lich Guard come in, you could say on a 1 to 3 it's a Necron Warrior, on a 4 and 5 it's a Immortal, and on a 6 it's a Lich Guard. You know, same on the third board, I think, because the Overlord is only going to appear when the control terminal gets activated. Yeah, so overall, is it worth the money? It's got a lot of content. It's got a lot of stuff in the box. You know, I mean, you get 5 plastic miniatures, 5 dice, all of these cards, the boards, the tokens, etc. You know, so I'd say for what it cost, it's good value. Has it got longevity in terms of playing it? Yeah, as I say, I think I'd like to play it from start to finish, right the way through all 3 levels, and see where I feel it is at that point. But as it stands, I am going to play it again. Whether I play it again after that is another story. Anyway, there you go. So this was Space Marine Adventures from Games Workshop. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys on the flip side.